Greetings and salutations to you all. Good to see you, good to see you. Well, I wanted to try something else with this painting on fabric. And I was my friend Joy had sent me some of these iron-on images that you can get for you could get for like embroidering and stuff. And so what I want to do is I want to paint, I'm going to paint this rooster. And I want to paint this rooster, and then I'm going to let him dry like I did the last painting, and then I'm going to use embroidery style of slow stitching around my rooster. Well, it actually won't be embroidering because my type of stitching sure can't be called embroidery, because it's not, it's just stitching. And so but look at that. I'm going to just paint him just like if I was coloring a picture. And I put him in my little frame here, and he's a little bit bigger than this frame, so I'm thinking I will probably order a larger frame one of these days. And because I just think roosters are just so beautiful. They are so beautiful. They can be a pain in the neck if you've ever had any roosters. But, so I'm painting his comb and his wattle. Painting them red. And after I painted on the last one, my friend Yolanda had sent me these here water paintbrushes. She sent them to me quite some while ago, and she goes, so she left me a message and said, have you tried those brushes I sent you? And then I said, doggone it, no, I haven't, because I forgot, because I forget things. And so, but these are water brushes. The barrel is full of water, and the barrel is filled with water. And so if I want to water down that paint, that's kind of hard to push. It says push. That's kind of hard to push to get that water started. Let me see. Okay, and so anyway, now I'm painting his wattle anyway. Painted that red. Painted his comb and his wattle red. Okay, that's cool. See there? His comb and his wattle red. All right, now I will let's see. Then see, these brushes are, oh, see, there are three different thicknesses of the brush. That's nice. They're all quite pointy, but they're all three different thicknesses. That is pretty good. I gotta get me a drink of my Zero, my Gatorade Zero. Oh, my friend suggested the Gatorade Zero because I get a lot of like Charlie horses. Like Charlie horses, I get them things. A horse named Charlie. And I'm looking for my stirring stick. Where's my stirring stick? Oh, there it is. Okay. And trying to make brown here. And she said to me that Gatorade Zero, Gatorade has got stuff in it that what is you call it? It's got stuff in it anyway. And the stuff that's in it will put electrolytes or something in your body so that so that then you don't have, and the electrolytes will help from not having them Charlie horses. And it really does work. Since I started drinking Gatorade Zero, I have little to no Charlie horses. I mean, my fingers would start just like this all by themselves. And now they're not doing that. So there must be something to that. So thank you, my friend. It's working. And I'm trying to make sort of a brown here, because the guitar has to be sort of a brown. Okay, well, anyway, then I need to have, see, my paint doesn't have an orange, so I'm mixing some yellow and red. Well, no, I didn't put any red in there. That's just dried red. Okay, let's see. I've got to get some red here. And some red. Okay, so I can stir that up and make orange. Uh-oh, I think I put in too much red. Oh, so then I just need some more yellow. More yellow to make orange. Owie. Oopsie, there. Because then his, up here, this part, oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, that's cool. That's sort of orange right there now. Okay. So then I'm going to go and I'm going to take, well, he needs to have a little yellow. I'm going to use the yellow to make his little beak. He's singing, as you can see. Wonder what he's singing. We'll sing in the sunshine. We'll laugh every day. We'll sing in the sunshine. There we go. See? That's a pretty yellow beak. I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be orange. But then I want to have my, I want to have his, this here, his little head to be orange. So I have to have the beak a different color. So, wait a minute, here, I gotta get that wet. So now I'll paint his little head orange. Boy, let me tell you about my printer. I have for this printer ink program with HP printer ink program, and so they can keep track of when I need ink, and I have ink all the time. I just pay them one price every month, and I'm never out of ink, because they know when I run out of ink and they send me more. And so that's pretty cool. If anybody's ever heard of that, it's just go to HP Smart or something like that, and HP Ink, and you can do that. It's really awesome. But anyway, I pay $10 a month. There's other I think you can do it even for less, like pay $6 a month. And my $10 a month gives me 300 prints per month, which I don't use that, so I should really, that many, so I probably should cut it down to less. But anyway, my printer wasn't hanging out with the HP people, and so they write me an email and they say that my printer is not doing what its thing, that it's not talking to them down at the HP place. And so it tells me the directions to get it back online. You know, my printer was not online, that's what it was. And so then, well, the directions that they give me wasn't helping at all. And so but then there was a number to call, so I called the number, and I called the number. I covered up this guy's poor eyeball. And the number, Okay, so I got this one. I called like about a week ago. And I got the number. I called about a week ago. And they, I got some girl that time. And the girl had me doing so many different things. Hold this button and this button at the same time. Unplug it and replug it. Unplug your, reboot your computer. Reboot the everything. And I was on the phone with her for an hour and kept getting disconnected, so she'd have to call me back. And, and, and so finally she quit calling me back, and so I didn't get fixed. So then the other day, Friday, I was talking to another kind, nice young gentleman who was trying to help me, and we were on the phone for an hour. Again, unplug, replug, undo, redo, reboot, everything. Hold these two buttons on at the same time, the whole 9 yards. And finally he said, well, I'm going to have to call my supervisor, so I'll call you back tomorrow. I said, all right, okay. So, well, tomorrow never came. He didn't call me back. And so, this morning, I thought, okay, third time has to be a charm. So then, I called him back this morning, got still a new person, a different person, nice young gentleman. And I explained to him the problem and what I've been doing and still not having any luck. And he said, have you went to your router and reset the the router? And I said, no, that's not been suggested to me yet. I haven't done anything with the router. So he said, okay, go to your router and just go to the, I don't know, I think it was an ABS or something button, and just push that button. I said, okay. And so actually I asked Papa to re-push the ABS button. I think it was ABS. It could have been something else. But so we did that. So I told the gentleman, okay, we've done that. He says, okay, now in just a minute, go in there and press the Wi-Fi button on your printer again. And it should go from flashing blue to solid blue. I said, okay, we'll try that. And do you know that it was fixed? It went to solid blue just like it was supposed to. I'm telling you, within like 2 minutes. And I had been on the line with 2 other fixing kind of people. I had spent 2 hours with them people with no luck. Nobody told me to go check that button. And the other ones, they asked me, like, who is your server? I mean, who provides your Wi-Fi provider or whatever and all. They asked me a lot of questions, and I gave them all that information. Good thing they didn't ask me my social security and bank number. But so I said to this gentleman, after he had that thing, and then he could tell from his end that, yep, I was cooking on gas again. And I said, you know what? I need your name, and I need to be connected to your supervisor. I need the phone number of your supervisor. He goes, I can connect you to my supervisor right away. And so he did. He connected me to the supervisor. And then I talked to the supervisor, and I sang this man's praises. I'm telling you. And I told him, I said, I've talked to 2 other people. I do not know their names. I do not remember what they said their names was. But 2 people I talked to, an hour each time. and these people could not help me get back online. And this man was able to help me in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, and I just want to let you know he was very happy that I called him up to tell him that, because they say um, they like to hear when they have a very good tech support person, and hopefully they'll give that tech support person a little bonus in his check or something, because he did so well. And he was easy to understand. He was from another nation, you could tell by his tone of voice that he was from another country, but he was very easy to, from his accent, is what I mean. But he was very easy to understand, so I was very happy. I was very happy. And so now I'm hooked up with the HP ink people again. And I'm happy because they are really cool. I mean, because they can tell. Soon as you reinstall another cartridge of ink, they have a new one to you in the mailbox. And so you're never out of ink. You're never out of ink, because you've always got a spare one on the ready. On the ready. Now look at this. Look at this rooster so far. And this is using the Artesia fabric paint. I like that. It went a little out of the lines up there on his little headpiece. But that's okay. That's all right, because I don't mind that. And in fact, when I painted my last image, I painted with watered down paint, so it actually did spread in the fabric, and I liked the way that looked too. Now for his rooster, see, I won't be able to, well, I can do part of his legs, but he didn't fit completely on here, so I have to wait till he's completely dry and then take this whole thing off and put it up a little bit so I can get his feet. So now, let's see, I want to these are really nice brushes, Yolanda. So I want to paint his guitar, and it's going to be this odd color of, well, it's kind of brownish. And so I'm going to, now actually he's going to be more colorful once I start adding the threads to him. When I add the threads, because I'm going to do some slow stitching onto my onto this piece. Once it's dry, it's going to get some slow stitching. I hope my poor hubster doesn't think I shut my door here because I've got the air on in here today, and I don't want him to think that I have shut him out. Yeah, he probably knows. I can let him know though. And yeah, it's kind of warm today. This is the second day we've had the air conditioner on. We don't leave it on all the time because we like our doors open. So, but when it gets the heat of the day, we'll turn our air on. We have 3 different units, window units. One's in the dining room, living room area. The dining room, living room, kitchen is all one area, so we have one air conditioner in there. And then we have one in our bedroom, and then I have one in here in this room. I don't have one in my sewing room, but that's okay. I have a good fan in there. And actually, this one, the cool from this room would probably go to that room too. But, hey, but I'm cool. It just doesn't need air conditioning. And so anyway, I'm painting his guitar. What kind of a song do you think chickens would sing? I'm a chicken, I'm a lickin'. Chicken fried chicken, I like chicken fried chicken today. Well, I don't know any chicken songs. I should know a chicken song. I don't know right at this moment, though. 5 little speckled frogs sitting on a speckled log eating those. No, that would be frogs. Okay. Chicken. Old MacDonald had a fun. On his farm he had a chicken with a cluck cluck here and a cluck cluck there, laying eggs in his underwear. That didn't go because it just did rhyme, but I guess if he was wearing underwear, he would lay eggs. Oh no, he chickens don't lay eggs. Only she chickens lay eggs. Okay, so that didn't go. Okay, so I'm getting a little weird. Maybe I've been on too long. I've been on 20 minutes. Okay, see, now. Oh, I gotta go up here and color this part. Up here. Oh, see, then I can put French knots on the little knobbly things up there. Yeah, this is gonna be one awesome. Let's see, I want the neck to be a little different. I don't want it to be like, well, what color do I want it to be actually? Let me get some of this orange. Am I ruining my ink? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm ruining my ink. I don't know. I'll paint all that ink on a page somewhere. Wait a minute. Now I got too much ink on my brush. It's not ink, Elizabeth. It's paint. Okay, paint. See, I used to work at a screen printing facility. I did work there for 3 years, and I did screen printing. And so we painted on stuff, but we called it ink. It was all ink we used. So I think that's why I like to call paint ink, because we was always using ink. And that was fun. We used, painted like signs, like danger signs, or screen printed danger, like danger signs and caution signs and all kind of those kind of signs. And tags, some things will have tags on hanging on something that says danger or lockout or out of order. Those are the kinds, business signs, we did. It was fun. I enjoyed that. But I enjoyed it a lot, but my lungs didn't enjoy the chemicals. The chemicals were not good. Not good for me. But now, in fact, the type of signs that I did, I was responsible for. It was my little area was, what'd they call them? AccuShields, they called them AccuShields. Which they were fiberglass, like painted, inked on fiber. No, they weren't painted. They were painted on this clear stuff, but then they were sandwiched into fiberglass. And I had to sand that fiberglass. And so sanding that fiberglass wasn't a very healthy thing. And so I was getting a little hard to breathe. I had to go into another line of work. So I did. And that's when I went into the job I absolutely loved, which was with the elderly folks. I loved being with them. Loved it. So anyway, yeah, I worked that. I did that for a long time. And then while I was working with that, that's when I was going to school too to get certification, so I could become certified activity director. That was fun too. Just going back to school to learn new things was fun. And so that was fun. I did not want to even quit then, but then it was my breathing issues were getting a little bit even worse, so I had some problems. And so, yeah. So then I had to retire after like 10 years. Because the old body, you know what happens when you start getting old. Your old body just starts getting a few of those aches and pains and rusty places. And so, yeah. But that's okay, because actually it's okay though, because you know why? Because it gives me all this extra time to craft. I was very depressed at first when I had to quit. Actually, I was told you either have to quit or you're gonna die. That's just all there is to it. I said, okay, what the heck. I got a little bit depressed. Got into that depression. So I wanted to go to work. I did not want to be told that I can't work. But breathing was a little important to me. And so, and because I have this like immune system that's like not doing its job. Well, it is doing its job, but it's busy doing other things, so it's not doing the things it's supposed to be doing. And so I was constantly getting the pneumonia. Last time I got the pneumonia, I was in the hospital for 9 days, which it wasn't bad because that hospital had good food. And I like that, good food. And you know they come and serve you like they just bring you a tray of food and you get to eat and stuff. And so it wasn't so bad, really. But they said the medical team, they decided that I shouldn't work if I cared to live. So my family said, Mom, you ain't working. That's it, you're done. And I said, okay, just keep me supplied in craft supplies, I'll be good. That's what I said, I'll be good. No probs. No probs there. So, and which I have been supplied in craft supplies, so I have no complaints whatsoever. And that's all good. So, and I just paint roosters for a living. No, I don't paint roosters for a living. I do still have to make a little money when I want new things. But like I want to get another one of these here. I think I do. I'm still not sure if I want to do that, if I want to get another one of these frames. I think I want to get a bigger one, but I'm not sure. I haven't decided. It takes me a while to decide. Because I might one day say, oh, I need this. And then I might order it and then not use it. So, but I've been selling things in my Etsy store. Thank you everybody who has bought from my Etsy store. And right now I think there's only one item left in there. And so that gives me my crafting money that I desperately need. But then I get, oh my word, and don't think I need any more because I don't, but I have had my subscribers to send me beautiful things, boxes full of absolutely gorgeous craft supplies that I can use in my crafting or in my kits that I make up and put on the sale site on the Etsy store. And I'm telling you, I have got my subscribers are so generous and so awesome and so loving, and I just hope every one of you know who you are that sent all the beautiful things. And I am like in hog heaven. And it's amazing. It's just amazing. What do you think about that rooster tail? Isn't that cool? Rooster tail. That makes me think about I was once young. I might be like old and wrinkled now, but I was once young. And one of the things young people do, and I didn't do it myself, I didn't do it. People I was riding with would do it. Just a minute, I gotta get a drink. Hi, Papa. I only have the door shut because I got the air on,
Okay,
and so that's the only reason I got the door shut.
no problem. I'm gonna make a road run. I'll do that.
Okay, sweet cheeks.
Love
I love you too. And so, anyway, speaking of rooster tails, you know, sometimes after it would rain, there would be mud puddles side the road, and you had to go in a real. You had to be trained and good at it, but you could drive your car, or I could. I couldn't drive my car because I didn't drive at the time anyway. I just rode with people. And if you hit that mud puddle just right, nicely, you hit it just nicely, and go through it, you get that water to just fan up like a rooster tail, and they would call it a rooster tail. Check out that rooster tail. It's just the water. It's like art, like an art project with the mud puddles. And that was cool. That was in the '60s, though, you guys. I lived dangerously in the '60s. I was in that mode of flower power, and spread the love, share the love. Yeah. This here rooster is looking good. Um, yeah, he's looking good. Yeah. I wasn't like a troublesome child, but there was one time now, and again, I was riding, I wasn't driving, but it was Halloween, and back in the day, I shouldn't admit this, but on Halloween, brat children my age would, and I was just along for the ride. Just keep that in mind. They would throw eggs at houses, and I don't know why. I don't know if they got thrill out of that or what, but throwing eggs at houses. And there was this one dude. I was in the back seat. I was always in the back seat. I was a back seat wallflower, kind of a rider alonger, and and yeah, that's what I was. And but there's this one house that had a huge plate glass window. I didn't want that red. I wanted that blue. There was this one great big old house. Well, it was not a great big old house. It was just regular, but it had this big old plate glass window. And so this one boy that was in the passenger seat, he says to the driver, he says, "Get close to this house. I'm going to egg that window." And so he had his egg ready and his pitching arm ready. And so he asked the guy to slow down and pull really close up on the sidewalk or something. I don't know. He, and he pitched that egg to try and hit that winder. Well, he didn't hit the winder. You know why he didn't hit the winder? Because his arm hit the mailbox He whacked his arm out the window. It hit the mailbox, broke his arm, in compound fracture in his arm. The bone came right through the skin. And so, of course, our next Halloween stop was at the ER. And they had to call his mother. And then he had to explain to his mother how it broke. He tried to come up with a different story, but it just wasn't feasible. I don't remember what the other story was. And then she says, "Excuse me, Junior." I don't remember his name, so I'll just call him Junior. That doesn't sound right. And then, so he had to fess up then and explain that he was egging windows. Could have been all the egg on his shirt, that might have kind of gave it away anyway. But yeah, I don't think he tried to egg houses anymore after that. I think he was done egging. I don't think people do that anymore on Halloween. There was like weird stuff people used to do in my day and age. Just for fun, I guess. I think children get bored. And this is one heck of a chicken feather. I like this a lot. Rooster tail, rather. Why am I not calling it a rooster tail? So, anyway. But I quit hanging around with all of those kind of children. Actually, I wasn't like that kind. I was more of a sweet child. I was a sweet child. And, but I just didn't want to be left alone. I mean, I wanted to be part of the crowd. Which we wasn't the in crowd. Of course not. We weren't the in crowd. They wouldn't be egging houses. And, but I just want to go somewhere. I'll go with y'all. Just because I want to go somewhere. And so, yeah, riding around in a 57 Chevy. Yeah, that's what it was too. It was a 57 Chevy, but I think it was this kid's father's car. I don't think it was his car. I think it was his father's car. The kid that was doing the driving. The 57 maroon 57 Chevy. I loved it. I still love 57 Chevy. Okay, now let's see. How are we doing here? There, I think I've got enough paint on my chicken, on my rooster. See that? That's nice. I have to say, it looks a little gloppy on his guitar. But you know what? I'm not going to worry about that because the whole thing is going to be covered up with it's going to be not covered up with, but it's going to be embellished with thread. A lot of thread is going to go on this. I'm going to do like I did the other one. I'm going to put some batting behind him and another piece of fabric. So when I do start stitching, he's going to be all like pudgy. Oh, what's that chicken dance? What is that chicken dance? There's a song that's the chicken dance. Oh no. I have to remember that song before I do part 2 of this chicken story. We used to have a lot of chickens till the coyotes ate them. Darn coyotes. So I can paint part of this, her legs. No, you're not a her. It's a him. This is a him. Roosters are only hymns. I can't remember the words of chicken dance. I have to look them up. Okay, that's as far as that's going to go right there. Because I can't do any more than this right now. So I have to let this dry. Yeah, and then I'll go ahead and take him off the rack right now. Okay, let's see if I can get that off of there. Get this off of here. Wait a minute. I don't want to mess up my paint. And then go like this. I could maybe... Why am I not getting this off of here? Because I'm trying to be careful not to mess up my paint. Oh, here we go. Oh, I got a whole stump and everything to paint. Oh. There. There we go. Okay, let me put this over here. Now see? Oh, see, I gotta still, he's got his foot on a tree stump. There's his other foot, and there's some grass. I gotta paint the grass. You know, I might be, well, no, I'm not gonna do that now. Now, because I'll take up all of your time. I'm taking up all of your time. I'm telling you how I am. I'm a time thief. Now, see there? But that's a nice looking rooster. And then he's gonna get a lot of thread on him. And, wait a minute here. I just noticed that he needs to have a blue eye. La 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 la. La 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 la. Oh, whenever I'm doing the give that chicken fat back to the chicken and don't let anyone know. Yeah, whenever I have to put some white underneath his eye. This is nice. I'm good. There we go. I'm good. I'm doing good. This is good. I like this. So, but yeah, I'm gonna finish up. Before I can put him in the stretcher, put him on the stretcher, I gotta wait till this part dries. I might be able to paint that rest of that without him being on the stretcher. Let me check real quick here. Oh, but then I'm taking up more of your time. Okay, let's see. See, yeah. I don't think I can do this. Just paint that. And, and like I say, it doesn't have to be painted like perfect, because I'm going to go over it with thread. There's going to be a lot of thread going on this chicken rooster chicken. Well, what did I do here to make that brown looking? Oh, I think I had some. Let me see. Did I have it up like this? Let me see, because I want to do my stump. Maybe like this, and maybe some of this. Okay, I'm making a big fat mess right here. Okay, that's gonna work though. So let me see. I'm gonna do my stump. Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I won't have to put this back in the stretcher. Don't have to go back on the stretcher, old rooster. I'm gonna get this. I gotta just make sure I can't get my strokes, but just go from west to east here. This is going to be awesome once I get the threads going on there. It's going to be awesome. I don't like to pat myself on the back, but hey, buddy, if you do something good, you give yourself kudos, just in case nobody else does. See, there's a little baby chicken right there, listening. intently to his father, or it might be his grandfather, singing. Getting a little bit of that gold in there, just for beauty's sake. See there? Eat your heart out, Mac. Who is that? Who's that painter? Leonardo da Vinci? Did he paint or did he write letters? I don't know. Wait a minute. Now I need to get some green. Whoops. I get some more of that water. I don't need all that water on that brush. Okay, so see, now I'll go down here and, how to get that lump on there. I don't want no lumps. No lumps, thank you. See, now professional painters, they know how not to get lumps right from the get-go. But I'll be professional one day, next week or next month or 3 days before I croak. I decided I'm going to die October 31st, 2049. And then I'll be 100 years old, and I will die a couple days after I turn 100. And I want to die on Halloween. I just think that'll be awesome. I'll be 100 years old. I was trying to figure out, though, am I going to be 100 years old in 1949? In 2049 or 2050? Because if I was no years old in 1949, and then you add 100 to nothing. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay. I think I've got it. So I have to die in 2049. That's when I'm dying. That's my plan. I'm going to die when I'm 100. So it's good to have your date planned out, and then so you can plan ahead. So then I know how much time I still have to use up all my craft supplies and stuff, so they don't go to waste. I really would like to see if I know when I'm going to die, I could get my coffin early, or my casket, or whatever they call that. I could get it early, and I could decorate it myself. And I could make it like a patchwork, like this guy. He could go in there. Now, most people have such boring caskets, They're just plain old. They put old satin sheets. I never have liked sleeping on satin sheets. We had satin sheets once because we thought that would be like romantic or something. But I didn't like them. They were no fun to sleep on satin sheets. So I think I want cotton sheets. I wonder if I can make that. I wonder who I would talk to about that. I need to hang up the phone right here because I think I'm losing my mind. I think I've done lost my mind. I'm painting my little chicken here. I give him he'll get a little orange beak. Because he's singing along too with his grandfather. He's singing along with his grandfather. And he needs a little blue eye too. Just a little blue eye. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know who I talked to about getting my final bed in early so I can decorate it myself. I could paint it and everything. But anyway, what do you think? See, I think he looks good. Now, I'll make another video when I do his threading. See, it's already got like this, double. So all I have to do is put that piece inside there. That is good. I am ready to do the Freddy. Okay, that's it. Now, wait a minute. Now, I got to get serious here just for a minute. I got to get seriouser and seriouser. Okay, just a minute. I got to roll over here and let's get these. Okay, what? Wait a minute. What are these cards here? Stress less. Stress less cards. That's what these are right here. So let's check. Let's pull one of these out of here just to see. I used to read these. I haven't read them in a while. Let me pull this one right here out. Okay. Stress less cards. Okay. Forget your goal. The next time you start doing something, figure out your goal. When you have, just forget about it, as though it didn't mean anything. Instead, concentrate on the doing itself and on every part of the process. Give all your attention to the doing and not 1 second to the goal. When your attention is not focused on what's supposed to happen, doing something will become easier and take less energy. Whoa! Is that awesome or what? Forget your goal. I would have never thought of that, putting it that way. And I have talked about doing the journey. Concentrate on the journey and not the destination. And this is pretty much it. Forget your goal. So, like this, my little rooster, I had fun painting him, even though it's, even if I don't get any more than this. But I am, actually, the journey will be doing the stitching. My goal will be, I don't know, because I don't know what I'm going to do with him. So I don't have a goal, because I don't know what I'm going to do with him. But that's it. Okay, I ask God to watch over you every step you take, every move you make. I'm going to clean up my little mess here. And let my old rooster dry, not die, just dry, and then I'm going to be able to start stitching him. God, look at that flag under there. This is what I gotta get cut off. Just that little bitty thing right there. They say that's cancer, so I'll get that cut off. I gotta go on the 12th. On the 12th, they're gonna whack it off. Major life and death surgery. Yeah. Major life and... Where's my mouse? Oh, there it is. And so, okay, God bless you all. May He watch over you every step you take, every move you make, and bring you back safely and soundly and happy and healthy and well-fed to the next video. And I love you very much. And make sure that you love yourself. That's very important. Okay, God bless.